What's going on, everybody? It's Nick Kosko with On3 Sports. I have a very special guest today, new North Dakota State head coach, Obe Blanc, kind enough to join me today. Coach, it's a pleasure to talk to you. This is a bit of a transitional period for you now. As you actually just mentioned to me, you are in the process of moving offices, but you were just named the new head coach over at North Dakota State to head up the wrestling program where you've been for the past couple of years. So I need your first reaction to getting this gig. Obviously, Roger Kish moves on to Oklahoma. You get the new gig now in a place where you're very familiar with at this point. Tell me about your first reaction to being named the new head coach.
Blessed, excited. This was something that my family and I we prayed about, and to be in this situation is just really a dream come true, and especially at a place like NDSU, it's such a big deal for me, and I'm just super pumped and excited for the road ahead for sure.
No doubt. So 4 years at this program, going into year number 5, but now you are the leader of the program, but basically the de facto face of the program. What does that mean to you? What has this place meant to you, your family, and your wrestling career now as a coach over the past couple of years?
It means a lot. It means a lot. For me, coming to NDSU, it was I really wanted the opportunity to test my skills as a leader, and this administration and Coach Kish, allowed me to have that opportunity to step in there and be a big part of the decision-making process in terms of culture, recruiting, academics, the whole nine. And so that was super important for me to be ready to go. I didn't want to be in this position and try to learn the job. I wanted to be able to feel confident. And so that's what this institution has really given me, that confidence to do the job. And my family, they love the area, they love the community. Things are phenomenal. I can't complain at all.
So last year you worked closely with Jared Franek and Michael Caliendo. You coached them to be All-Americans, obviously numerous Big 12 champions. And before we get into the Big 12 aspect of this, what can you do to continue this recent run of success for North Dakota State in having guys like Franek and Caliendo obviously having success at the individual level as well?
To copy and grow it, right? Finding individuals that really fit our culture and are hungry to win on all aspects, right? You see Franek, yeah, he's an All-American and everything, but he was also the Elite 90 winner, award winner. Guy had the highest GPA at the NCAAs 2 years in a row, and he's also an All-American. And same thing with Mikey. He's an All-American, but he's also an academic All-American, and as well as numerous guys in our team. So for us, it's to continue to have success in a classroom and to have a lot of success on the mat as well. And we want to bring home 10 All-Americans, 10 national champions. Kind of, that's our mentality. And that's just it. We want to win in all facets of the game and do it year after year.
You mentioned the academics in particular for Franek as of late. Is that one of your proudest coaching moments as the associate head coach, and now, of course, going into your new tenure as the head coach, knowing that these guys can really balance it out with one of the most grueling sports in college athletics and still really excel, especially in their GPA, and be really model student athletes across the NCAA?
Yes, it's very important to me. The wrestling part right now, it's a big deal, right? It's a dream that you've had as a young athlete, and to achieve these things of being All-American, and that's a big deal, right? So it definitely fulfills that immediate sense, but also the academic part that stays with you for a very long time. And we had our end of the year banquet, and we had a couple guys that are on their way out as seniors, and I'm like, wow, a lot of these guys, they already have these jobs lined up. They're ready to take care of themselves and their families for many years to come. And so that part is super important for me as well. It's like, hey, I want you to be a national champion here, but at the same time, I want you to win a national title right now. It's great and everything, and we're gonna celebrate it. But 10, 12 years from now, people forget that you won it sometimes. But making sure these guys are gonna leave here and be great leaders, husbands and fathers, years down the road is a bigger factor for me, because I know they'll help set up the next generation and so forth.
Definitely building a great culture over in North Dakota State. So looking at the Big 12, of course, when people look at football, basketball, and all the other sport, basically the revenue generating sports, I should say, like football and basketball, they consider, well, the Big 12, that's Oklahoma, that's Texas. And in wrestling, people kind of forget that North Dakota State is, quietly one of the better wrestling programs in that conference. Now, do you take pride in knowing that you're able to continue to build something in this conference with historic programs such as Oklahoma State? Just as an example, obviously Iowa State is one of the stalwart programs of the Big 12. So what does that mean to you to make North Dakota State get into that conversation?
Yeah, like you said, it's a very historic conference, and we want to carve out our space as well, right? So when people talk about the Big 12 wrestling, we want to be in that conversation, and having guys win those Big 12 titles and become All Americans. So we want to carve out our space and our legacy in this conference, and to continue to add to its history, right? A little bit. So for us, we wherever we're at, we want to make noise, and we're happy to be in the Big 12, and very tough conference, and having success in it is super important to us.
So speaking of Big 12 opponents, and now your former mentor, now Roger Kish, he's over at Oklahoma. So I would imagine once these schedules come out, there's going to be a bit of a circling of the dates on there when North Dakota State takes on Oklahoma. What's that going to be like now facing your former boss? So now, again, the torch has been passed to you with the Bisons. What is that going to be like?
I don't know if it changes much for me, me personally, or guys. It's to say we are going to compete, to come out on top, whoever's in front of us, and obviously it makes it a little funny and stuff like that. But hey, nothing changes. After the shake hands and that whistle blow, it's a contract of war in battle, and it doesn't matter who it is. That other individual, they're trying to take something away from you, something that you want, and you have to go basically convince them that you deserve it more than them. So, but it'll be good. It'll be fun. You make friends along the way here. Your families become friends, and to compete against each other is fun. It's fun, and I think the other part is when you're up against that coach or opponent, that team, that program. It's like, man, you want to know that, hey, these are good people that we're going to do battle with, and at the end of the day, it's just a sport, right? It's just something that we do, that we love, and to know that these are good people leading good young men is also nice consolation.
So you yourself, let's talk a little bit about the actual wrestling. Of course, Obe Blanc with me here on On3 Sports. You look at your wrestling experience, your former All-American yourself over at Lock Haven. You wrestled for Oklahoma State as well. We're an NCAA qualifier. You had a lot of freestyle and international success, including, I believe you were an alternate, right, for the 2012 London Olympic Games.
Yeah.
When you look, when you look at your wrestling experience and what you can bring to your wrestlers, how do you implement your style? Do you just add on to guys' styles? Do you try to implement your style into ways you coach? I mean, how do you go about that with your squad?
I think for me, it's a lot about drawing back on those experiences and adding to what my guys already bring to the table. And I like to look at it a little bit more in the scientific aspect of things, and say, hey, look here, man, you're if we count the number of attempts to success here, you're about 20% with your head outside, or when we actually switch it over to your head inside, you're about 70%. So these are things that we need to consider and grow, and there's obviously different areas you have to adjust. We do that, and a lot of time, sometimes it has nothing to do with the technical. It might be the mental. And then you got to find a way to help that athlete over those hurdles that they're dealing with in that facet. So often I'm just learning my athletes and seeing what makes them tick, and help them to really be at their best. And it's not a one size fits all program. We really believe in development and mentorship. And I think the more we spend time to get to know our guys and really walk the path with them, the more we see the results that they want and that we want. So so I would say I'm basically get to know my athlete, and what makes them tick, and really help them be successful. I don't try to change them, because at the end of the day, they have to have confidence in themselves and executing. And if they're, I could show the best thing in the world, and if they're not confident in it, they're not going to execute. So it's really meeting them where they're at, and really try to help them achieve their biggest goal, by putting the time in to really get to know them, and walk the path. That's been a big thing for me as a coach, and really have had a lot of success with it, and looking to keep it going.
Absolutely. I'll leave you here with this one, Coach. What are your expectations and vision for this program? I would imagine, like all coaches, you have your goals for this coming season. You have a 5 and a 10-year plan. Where do you see North Dakota State Wrestling this year and beyond in your vision?
Yeah, no, we want to continue to grow everywhere. That's obviously putting All Americans on the podium. We finished top 8 academically in terms of GPA. We've been as high as number 2. We've been top 10 these past 4 years, and so we want to continue to push there and be have the highest GPA as a group, in terms of that aspect, and want to put as many guys on that podium. We want to grow our RTC to continue to provide opportunities for our athletes outside of the collegiate season. And something that's super important to me too is reconnecting our alumni base and getting everyone involved. And that's super important to me. This community has been phenomenal, and so I really want to get as many people connected with the program, and relive those awesome years that Coach Bucky Mon had really the strong legacy here, right? And so we want to celebrate or past All-Americans, national champions, guys that were on the team that were part of it. And so that's something that's super big for me, and really being present in our community a lot more. And so for me, it's a little bit of everything, grow everywhere in everything, and try to be the very best that we can be at every facet. And for me, it's getting coaches that are super fired up and passionate about our student athlete, and mentoring them everywhere, off the mat, right? We want to make sure these guys are representing themselves and their families to the highest level when they walk around the community, right? So I really believe, as a coach, you can really help student athletes be the best at everywhere, not just wrestling. That's just something we get to do for fun. That's a cool part. But I really think my goal is to help build better people. And I think that's something that really makes me happy, makes our institution happy, and we're not going to compromise.
I love that. It's a great message to send out to the North Dakota State fan base, and, of course, the wrestlers and the community as well. Coach, I appreciate your time this morning. Good luck this coming season. Hope you guys have a great summer and off season, and looking forward to obviously talking to you again once the season comes around.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Head coach Obe Blanc from North Dakota State Wrestling here joining me on On3 Sports.